Hey everyone, it's Christine with Momspiration 412, the founder of EduPlay, educational playdates for kids and a break for the parents. And I am sorry I'm a few minutes late today. I am at my mom's tonight. The kiddos are playing with their cousins, so we're just having a great time for summertime and, just getting here, getting settled, just letting them play, making sure that we're all set up. So I hope everyone is having a great week. I am teaching Vacation Bible School with my kiddos, and we have lots of preschoolers in our class. So we're at Bethany Presbyterian Vacation Bible School, and it is going so great. It's just exhausting. It's a lot of work, and it's fun. It's great for the kids, but there's a lot of kids, and it's having the volunteers and having the time and the energy, and so that's kind of what we've been doing this week. In addition to, hey Nicole, in addition to a little bit of dental work on my little baby girl. So we talked about cavities and unforeseen things that were causing cavities that we didn't know about. So what we're going to talk about today is the dental health and those cavities actually, in the process of what they have to do to fix them or fill them, or hope you guys don't have any cavities, so that would be even better. But just really talking about that dental health, some tips and tricks that I've learned from the dentist that I was, when I've been to these appointments recently, what happened yesterday, and some things to be, to look out for if this ever did happen. So first, I want to shout out to Miracle Dental Associates. They're in Wexford. I'm not sure if they have other offices. And I think they do. I think there's one out in like Irwin, Monroeville area, but definitely the one in Wexford is the one that we went to, and they were wonderful. Dr. Ruby is who Ella and Alex have been seeing since we switched there. She's fabulous. The anesthesiologist that we talked to, they're great. Like their whole team and staff, just so professional, so welcoming, so just comforting to you, because as a mom, you're nervous, you're a nervous wreck, and you want your kids to be happy and healthy. And when something like this comes up, you question yourself, because that's what I've been doing. I've been questioning myself as to how did she get cavities? Why did I let it get this far? And the doctor just put my mind at ease, and the nurses and the hygienists and everyone that I talked to, they're like, it is not you. It is not your fault. There's no reason to blame yourself for this, which helped so much, because just that mom guilt, it just totally sets in. So I'll give you a little update of what happened. And I want to shout out to Christine. She was one to help me find Miracle Dental in Wexford. So she gave me a list of a couple people to call and contact, and I was kind of in this search. Like Ella was right before her 4th birthday, because I remember at her 4-year-old pediatrician appointment, I even remember this, brushing her teeth and showing my husband and saying, honey, what is that in her teeth? Like, those look like cavities. And at that point, I think it was already too late. Like, I really do. From what I've learned since then, like, you have to act fast. And that was something that I didn't know, and I would, want to help everyone else, and I want to make sure that everyone knows this. So when I saw those, I showed the pediatrician, and he's like, yeah, those look like cavities. You probably should get those, checked out by the dentist. So at that point, my family dentist had sent us a letter and said that they moved. So now we are in the process of finding a new family dentist, which that family dentist, they were in Monroeville, so it was a little bit far for us, because that's where we used to live, and now we're in Robinson. So it was a little bit of a hike for us, but we loved them, and they were wonderful, and Ella and Alex have been going to them since they were babies, so they were comfortable going there. She had young kids. It just seemed to work. Well, when we got the news that they were moving, we were like, okay, well, it's probably time we need to start looking for a new dentist. But we didn't have the urgency. No one was in pain. No one was, having cavities or any symptoms like that. So there was no urgency. Well, when I started seeing those spots in Ella's teeth, I talked to the pediatrician. He gave me a couple names to call. It was now getting time to start calling. So as I started the process, obviously I wasn't diligent enough to stay on it and call as quickly as I needed to call. And I didn't realize the weight that there was on going to a new dentist. So I started calling around. I started calling family dentists because I wanted to go to a dentist that everyone could go to. I didn't want to have a pediatric dentist and a family dentist. So I went to a couple family dentists that they said, okay, well, come in first for a cleaning for yourself, get her used to it, and then, we'll look in her mouth. Well, at this point, she wanted nothing to do with it. She did not want anyone looking in her mouth. She didn't know these people, so everyone's like, let me look in your mouth. I don't know you, but sure, let me check it out. She was terrified. She was so upset. So that was a start of our journey. I went to 2 different family dentists, and which neither of them were my own. So I was not comfortable with them. She was not comfortable with them. And I kept getting tips and tricks along the way, from these dentists. Like the one dentist, was talking about the foods that, we go to for our kids, the crackers, the goldfish, the pretzels, the granola bars, but the problem with those foods, those are ones that are getting stuck in their teeth. The fruit snacks, things that kids love. When they ask for a snack, that's what they want, And so it took a while to start transitioning into healthier snacks, peppers and apples and carrots and, reach for a nectarine or a pear or something, applesauce, because that's something that's going to slide off of their teeth instead of get stuck in there. Yogurt, all of those things. Hey, Darlene. All of those things are getting stuck in their teeth. You want them to reach for the foods that are not getting stuck in their teeth and that are better for their teeth. So that was a switch for us, and that's what we've been working on. But that dentist said, you know what, I'm referring you to a pediatric dentist because I don't have the tools here. Even though I'm a family dentist and I'm good with kids, I don't have the tools to take care of her teeth the way she needs them. So again, I was on the hunt again. That was 3 dentists in. I find, I get referred then to a Miracle Dentist, and I called them and they were able to get us in the next day. In my search, I had been calling and they're like, yeah, we can get you in July. Well, getting us in July, that was just a checkup. That was not even them doing the work in her mouth, which I knew, and I didn't know enough about it, but I knew that they were getting worse and worse. And I knew it was something that we needed to take care of sooner rather than later. And still, it was not soon enough. So if you guys are on, let me know, how are your kids' teeth? Let me know how they are. They no cavities? Have you been to the dentist? When did you go to the dentist? How early for your kids? And if they had any cavities and any dental work done. So if you guys are watching either now or the replay, let me know where you're at, where your status is for your kiddos. Because right now I'm at the point where, we're finding a new dentist and Ella is, getting checked out and getting these teeth checked on. And the mom guilt was real whenever the dentist looked in her mouth. And at the pediatric dentist, they're wonderful. So Miracle Dentist has a therapy dog. They do a lot of children with special needs, which as a special ed teacher, that was like very near and dear to my heart. They have just wonderful tactics. So as you walk in, there's a TV there. As you're waiting, they're just kind of relaxed and chilled and, just enjoying the atmosphere. There's a whole desk area, not where the nurses and not where people sit. It's where the kids can play. There are like tabletop toys that they play with. There's a train table. There's a Lego table. There's a huge fish tank. So very inviting for the kids. There's little mats on the floor that the kids are able to kind of hop on. It's just very inviting and very welcoming for the kids, which was so huge for my kids, and a big welcoming piece was you're going to get to go and see the doggy there, the dental doggy, or, whatever you want to call it. It was just so wonderful. They were excited to see the dog. So that was helpful and very welcoming for the kids. So when we went for our first checkup, the dental hygienist was wonderful. She was able to kind of, ease Ella into, Darlene, I want to catch that in 1 second. Ease Ella into getting onto the chair. First, she didn't want to sit on the chair. And luckily, my husband went with us, so he sat on the chair first. Ella sat in his lap. They gave her a new toothbrush, a special toothbrush, which was just the toothbrush she was going to take home. And they were able just to start brushing her teeth. It was very, very quick. And it was just a regular toothbrush. They did not even introduce the tools to her, like the dental tools that are there that they see. And then as Ella got comfortable, they were able to introduce them. So that was so great. And then as they look up, she's got like monkeys up on the ceiling or like, up there. So say, hey, look up there and count my monkeys. And, it was just so welcoming for them. And then when the dentist came in, what they did, and to floss their teeth, which was so great, is they had Ella sit straddling Dan, and they had her lay back, and the dentist was sitting over on this side. So like the dentist and my husband were facing each other, and Ella was facing my husband in his lap. And as Ella laid back, that gave the dentist a wide open view of her mouth, and they were able to floss her teeth very easily. They were able to see very clearly what was in her mouth. And at that point, that's when they said, yes, right now what I'm seeing is I see 2 cavities right now. But they were not able to take x-rays at that time. They were not able to really look in there. So we had to then follow up with the next steps. I'm going to catch Darlene here. Darlene says, Kate has a spot on her front tooth, and we were told once it was a cavity, was told they would have to put her under to fill it. Yikes. Went to another place, and thankfully they said it was just a stain. You're right. The mom guilt is so real. So Darlene, you are going to love the next step because it's real. I mean, it's, hey, Jess, the mom guilt is so real, and just really getting them taken care of, and the process it takes to get those cavities and get those things filled. It's tough, and at such a young age, it's really tough. Hey, Courtney, thanks for joining, guys. So now we're at the point where they're telling me, okay, Ella has 2 cavities. We've got to get them filled. And Darlene, at this point, I already knew. I knew they were there. This is already the 3rd, 4th person that has told me, in addition to myself. And here's the thing. I feel like, you got to go with your gut. If you as a mom feel like it's a cavity, and you as a mom feel like this needs taken care of, you have to take care of it, and yes, keep getting those second opinions. If you feel like, no, it's nothing to worry about, go get another opinion. By all means, do what you feel in your heart. In my heart, I knew they were cavities, and I knew that I needed to get them taken care of. Because yes, they were baby teeth, but as I was looking and as I was talking to these other dentists, obviously, we don't want the kids to have teeth that are rotting away in their mouth. I mean, that's an infection in their mouth. Obviously, we want them to have happy and healthy teeth. The other part of that is the teeth that had cavities. They were 12. They were going to stay in her teeth or in her mouth until she was 12. So that's a long time. She's 4 now, 4.5, and so we had to get them taken care of. They told me my options. They said, well, in our office here, since she's not able to sit still, since she's so young, since all of these things, she was going to have to be put under. So yes, very, very scary. At 4.5 years old, I had to have that decision of having my child, have to be put under. And I know in the big scheme of things, it's just dental work. And I know that I have other parents on here that their children have had more invasive surgery than that at a younger age. I know that. So in my mind, that's what I had to keep telling myself. It is just dental work. This is routine for them. And this is what needs done for her health. So that's what eased my mind, knowing that some of my other mothers in this group and other of my friends are in different situations and, have had different surgeries. So that helped me. So what they did is they told me the process. They told me, yes, they're going to end up putting, yes, Darlene, we got to do what we got to do. That's so right. It's hard. It's so hard for us as mamas, but we do. So what they ended up doing is they told us, you're going to come back. They put us on a list, and they made the schedule, and they were like, okay, the next schedule is in September. And I knew for me, like, that was not going to be good. So I knew that we had to get these teeth filled. And I called them back. Ella was saying things were getting stuck in her teeth. I called them back. They put us on the ASAP list, which was great. They called me back within a week and said, we got you in. So yesterday we went in and we had this done. They prepped me all the way up until this point. You know, they said she can't eat anything after midnight. She can't have anything but water until 3 hours prior to. And luckily they called me and her appointment was at 7 in the morning. So it was so easy for us to do this because literally I let them sleep. We took them in their pajamas at 6 a.m. and we put them in the car seat and we put a show on to make them just comfortable. I think your phone was ringing. Put them in the car seat and just let them kind of watch a show until we got there. So I made sure as a mom, because literally I have my cup with me everywhere. I have it on my bedstand. I have 3 or 4 of them on the bedstand because I never remember. I have water cups in their car for them. I have, you know, all of these things. So I made sure right before I went to bed, I made sure that there were no water cups. She had access to getting no water because what that causes is if they drink or if they eat before the surgery or before getting put under, that could cause them to vomit. And vomiting during that procedure could cause aspiration and could cause problems in their lungs, which then could turn into pneumonia, which then could be more serious. So whenever they tell you these things, it's not just like, you know, we need to follow it. And they said like, it's whenever they don't know that happens, that's when things could cause a problem. So I take that very seriously because obviously I don't want any complications. So made sure all the water, all the snacks, made sure that there was no way that she was going to get food or water before the procedure. We take her to the office and what they told me was make sure you have a change of clothes for her because it's often that they have accidents. Make sure that you bring a blanket because she's going to be cold. She's going to be shivering and cold when she comes out, but have a blanket just as security. She's not really cold. She's just coming out of it. And some other things that they said, you know, Tylenol, which I should have taken the Tylenol with me. I did not. So a few of these things too, tips and tricks, if you do have to have this done, you know, take Tylenol, take a change of clothes for yourself, because what if they're sitting on you and they're out of it and they have an accident on you? So yes, you've changed of clothes for them, but what about yourself? So as I was talking to another mom that was there doing the same thing, she was like, oh yeah, that's a good idea. I didn't think about that. And then when I told the dental hygienist, the admin that was there, she's like, oh, that's a good idea. I'm going to start telling the parents that. So that was something that we thought about as we were sitting there, and bring a bucket in case they do have the nausea or vomiting, you know, while you're there or in the car, you know. So just a few things that we had to bring with us. So we go in for the procedure, and some offices and some places, they take a drink, which I wish that would have happened for us. But in our case, Ella had to get a shot to make her drowsy. And Ella is terrified of shots. So that was difficult for us. Luckily, my husband went back with her, and, you know, they make it fun. But if your daughter turns her head and looks at what they're doing, she's going to scream. So that's what I heard. Mama broke down, Mama cried. Alex, you know, was sitting there just wanting to watch a show. And here I am crying because I hear my baby in the back, you know, screaming and just upset because she doesn't want a shot, you know. So they did everything that they could to make it okay. And, you know, but when she turns around and she looks at it, she's going to get upset. So I do know that some places do offer a drink, but they said in their case, you know, they work with a lot of children with special needs that may not and may refuse to take that drink. So that's why they take the shot, or they, you know, go for the shot. So, you know, it all depends on where you're at. So that was something that was, you know, hard for us, but she made it through. After that, they said that they're going to get a little bit sleepy, drowsy, you know, stare off. Hardest thing, they said only one person to go back. I had to send my husband because I knew I don't think I could handle that. You know, seeing my baby in my arms, you know, just kind of fall asleep in my arms, that was hard for me. So, hey, Emily. So I sent my husband back, and he sat with her, and literally after she got the shot, it was literally minutes that he was coming out and they were getting to work on her. So they did it and they kept me updated the whole time. Like, it was so reassuring to say, you know what, this is what's going on, this is what's going on, this is what's going on. So in our case, Ella's teeth were already decayed to the point in the one tooth, like they want to save what they can. Like, they don't want to pull teeth, they don't want to put caps on them, they want to fill them. But in our case, in Ella's case, her teeth, her cavity in the one tooth was so far down and into the nerve that they ended up having to pull one tooth completely. So she has no tooth there. And then the other side, and it was very weird that they were the same spot on the opposite teeth, like right across from each other. Don't know how, don't know why. Weird, but that's what happened. And the other thing was that they were able to save as much of that tooth as they could, but they had to put a cap on it. So they saved what they could, they coated it, whatever they could, and they put a cap on it. So for us, when we were telling Ella, you know, you got your tooth pulled, and, you know, you have to wait for your big teeth to come in now. So it's so exciting, and the tooth fairy is going to come. And, you know, we weren't sure how we were going to play it, but it worked out that way. The other thing was her cap on her tooth. For her, it's a princess tooth. She got a princess crown. It's working. She's excited to show everyone her princess crown. Is it killing me inside to see my baby with a hole in her mouth and a crown on one? Yes. But I know that she's happier and healthier, and her teeth are healthier. And the other thing about it was they found 3 other cavities in there as they were going through. So, okay. So it was hard. They had to fill all of these cavities, and I had to just know that it's the best thing for her teeth. I know that they're baby teeth, but you know what? I don't want an infection in her mouth. I know whenever she has an infection somewhere, an ear infection, a sinus infection, a cold, or whatever, she's a little bit more whiny. She's a little bit fussier. And guess what? That's what was happening. She was starting to get whinier, and I know she's 4.5, and you know that's what's happening too. But I was noticing that, and I was saying, maybe this tooth is causing problems that we don't know. So as I was talking to the dentist and as I was talking to the anesthesiologist, they were saying, you know what? It's not your fault. Because as I was standing there talking to them, I'm crying because I'm like, I thought I did everything right. I thought that they're not eating candy, they're not eating junk, they're not eating, you know, sugary drinks and all of these things, and they're brushing their teeth twice a day, and, you know, we just try to take good care of them. But they said, you know what? The enamel on the kids' teeth is so thin that it doesn't matter. What was happening was, if you're not flossing, which how do you floss a 2-year-old, a 3-year-old, a 4-year-old? How do you floss their teeth? It's difficult. So flossing their teeth would help to get the food that was stuck in their teeth and in those grooves. And what they said, because the enamel is so thin, it just wears and decays so quickly. It's like wildfire in their teeth. So, hey, Sierra. That was what was happening in her teeth. Food was getting stuck because there are crevices, and we had the flossers. They were flossing, probably not as good, and obviously not as good as they needed to, but they were flossing, and it was still getting stuck. And it said the grooves and the way that their teeth are forming, sometimes it just happens. So it was hard. It was hard to see. So Darlene said definitely can be genetic too. So when I mentioned that, she said no. Not completely no, but she said it's just kind of the way the teeth form. So I don't know. I don't know nothing about it being genetic to know that if that's the case or not. What the dentist did tell me, which is so strange, is your saliva being passed to someone else could cause bacteria in their mouth, which could then break down their teeth. So like sharing drinks, which my kids they constantly want to drink from mama's drink, even though they have their own water cups. You know, we are sharing food, any of those things. And I know not a lot of people have heard about this, but when I was there at my Bible group, one of the other moms mentioned it. So it must be something that's newer discovered, that the saliva in your mouth being transferred and passed to our children and, anyone else that we're sharing food with could break down. Yes, so Darlene said, interesting, we were always told our family has soft teeth, which affects the enamel. So I'm sure that the soft teeth has something to do with it. I'm not sure, though. I really don't know enough about it because that's what I've heard, too. I've heard that our soft teeth, it causes your teeth to break down easier. So, but that's not what they said yesterday to me. So that was just one dentist's opinion and one dentist, things. So let's, get to what happened. So Ella got all of her teeth filled. She got them all taken care of. And they brought us into the recovery. And this was hard for me because you see your baby laying there, in the chair. Her eyes are half open. And she just has this big gauze in her mouth because obviously they're making sure the bleeding, stops. And it was just hard. It was hard for me to see that. And I started talking to her. I know, Darlene said crazy stuff. This saliva thing is interesting. It is. And I'd love to know more about it. I want to research it a little bit more. I touched on it before, but I haven't really dived into it. So, watching Ella there, I started talking to her and she started coming too because obviously she was just kind of drowsy. She was just in a sleep. And then she started choking on the saliva and the spit in her mouth. And I was like, okay, what's going on? Someone come over here, and they suctioned her out and it was all fine. And they kind of sat her up, but they didn't want to sit her up too far because she's still too drowsy. She was still kind of laying around. And, but eventually she was able to sit up. Dan was able to hold her. But it was hard. I'm just holding her hand, just trying to stay strong because you got to stay strong for your kids because they need you, and I just kept telling her how great she did and how wonderful she did. And the very first thing when she was actually able to talk, she goes, they gave me a shot, Mom. I got a shot in my arm. So she remembered it. And that was the one thing that she hated. Obviously she didn't remember anything else, but she did remember that. So, and she was just a little bit drowsy, something that they said, just giving them lots of soft foods, making sure. So obviously if she got her tooth pulled, making sure, you rinse it out, you clean it out, warm salt water, rinsing it out for them. But a lot of soft food. So she's loving it. She's getting popsicles. She's getting yogurt. She's getting the frozen yogurt. She got ice cream yesterday and soup from Panera. But we still did have to watch, make sure she didn't get nauseous and vomit right after. So we did still have a bucket with us. We had little sips of water. We gradually got her some food. We didn't give her food right away. And she knew right away she wasn't ready because her mouth was still numb. So that was good because obviously if they're biting and they didn't know, we know this as adults, you're not supposed to eat so far after because your mouth is numb. And if you're biting on your cheek, you don't know it. So she knew that she wasn't ready to eat. And when she was ready, she had some soup, which was perfect. She had some ice cream and she's just been loving it. Some mac and cheese, some basic things that I had to go to the store and get because I didn't have, but that and they said let her just kind of lounge around throughout the day. And by the afternoon, because she had it so early, by the afternoon, she was good to go. She definitely didn't sleep enough. She took a good nap today because she didn't nap well enough yesterday and get enough rest. But she's doing great. She loves it. As much as you could love having a princess tooth and a crown, and a hole in her mouth, but she's doing great, much better than I, could even imagine. So I'm very excited about that. But I'm just trying to think. There was a few more things I was going to tell you guys. I don't know. There was one more thing I was going to tell you. So just paying attention to your kids' teeth, getting them, this is what the dentist wanted me to tell you, or kind of talk to everyone. Making sure you're taking your kids to the dentist as early as 1. As soon as they get those teeth, take them to the dentist. A pediatric dentist, definitely the best thing. And it's just getting them aware of going to the dentist, having them check, and even if they don't use any tools, just having them brush their teeth, or even just counting. They said, I'm just going to count your teeth, just something fun. So definitely something that is important, something that they don't stress enough at the pediatrician. They say, they're fine to go at 3 or 4, it's fine. I didn't feel that way. I felt at one when they started getting those teeth, you have teeth, you need to be taking them in. And that's why I didn't understand. I was brushing her teeth as soon as she got them, even before, because they say even that feeling on their gums, first of all, it feels good for them. But even as a baby, just brushing their gums, it gets them used to it. So if you have kiddos out there that don't have any teeth yet, they're still young, start early. Start brushing their teeth. Find a pediatrician that you love, that you really want to go to, and just start taking them, because I feel it's so important. So, and Darlene said, so proud of you and her. Thank you, Darlene. It was definitely a rough day. And today I was still kind of feeling it. I was still kind of like down and out, but I'm better now. I rested today, and we are just going strong. And she's out there playing with her cousins, having a great time, and loving it all. So thank you guys so much. And like I said, just good dental health. I'll follow up with some things that we talked about. If you're not on our email list, go ahead and subscribe. You can either go on here, you can let me know, send me a private message, and we'll start setting tips and tricks from our live videos and replays that way. So you guys make sure you can jump on and see everything. And I just can't wait to see you guys. So I'm just so happy to see you, and I can't wait to see you at our next events, is what I was going to say. So our next event we have coming up, Business Building and Babies, on next Thursday, June 27th, at the Market District at 10:30. I am going to run a little promotion tomorrow. So if you are on here today and you're considering coming with your kiddos, stay tuned. I will be doing a live video tomorrow, and we'll be doing a little promotion so you can get your tickets. So if you've not grabbed them, go ahead and check it out. I'll be posting that, and we'd love to see you there. And I hope you guys have a wonderful week, a wonderful Wednesday. And remember to see each moment as a chance to learn. Bye, guys.